his IRA account was worth $1.2 million when he passed away. Now it's still stuck in limbo. Nobody has inherited it. So now it's worth $1.7 million. They did the paperwork wrong.
It's really important to check your beneficiaries. It's not just an annoying thing that your advisor is asking you to do.
At the end of the day, your intent doesn't matter. It's what's written on the paper.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Connecting the Dollars. Today we're going to talk about spring cleaning, specifically spring cleaning your finances. One of the most important things to be aware of is your beneficiaries on your IRA accounts. Amanda's going to discuss a quick article that she read in the Wall Street Journal recently.
Yeah, thanks, Emily. I think there's a lot we can do to make sure our finances are in order, and that part of that is checking up on them. So I saw this article in the Wall Street Journal. I thought it was a perfect example of how you can use spring cleaning, the idea to make sure your stuff is set. The headline was "One Small Fortune, 36 grandkids, and an inheritance stuck in limbo." We can link to this article in the show notes so that you can read it also. But just to give you a summary of what's happening is there was a grandfather who passed away in 2019. Now we're recording this in 2026, so it's 7 years later, and his IRA account was worth $1.2 million when he passed away. Now it's still stuck in limbo. Nobody has inherited it because there's this argument in the courts about how it's divvied up. So now it's worth $1.7 million. But the issue was this was an IRA account. He had left it to his 36 grandchildren to divide equally. But when he changed the beneficiaries on the account, he had given somebody else the power of attorney to change the beneficiaries. And when that person made the change, they did the paperwork wrong. And the reasons for this is kind of arcane. When you leave money to somebody who is not a spouse, there is a requirement that you get a waiver from your spouse saying that that's fine with them. The beneficiary form is done properly, but the spousal waiver was not done properly. And then this has caused this battle in the courts. And the thing that's interesting about this is that all of the inheritors, all of the grandchildren agree. It's just the custodian saying you did the paperwork wrong. There's nothing we can do. It's just the fact that this is an issue is kind of insane. I think a lot of people don't appreciate how, like the little rules that happen in these inheritance things that can really hang people up. We say the inheritance, you put it in your will. What you have in your bank accounts is separate than what's in your will. The bank accounts operate under a contract law regime, so the analysis is slightly different from a legal perspective, but for both of them, at the end of the day, your intent doesn't matter. It's what's written on the paper. Is the paper properly executed? Do you have the right number of witnesses at your will signing? Did you do this paperwork for your beneficiaries on your IRA account properly? And it's just amazing how easy this can be messed up.
Yeah, these are legal binding documents, and when you sign up, you're maybe not thinking in that mindset. And this could lead to people having an ex-spouse listed as their beneficiary. And even though when they pass, that's not what they intended, that's what's written and that's what's going to happen. This also reminded me of a story that happened to one of my friends, and the IRA was nowhere near 1.2 million. So for us, regular folks, I suppose, there can still be a lot of issues. Her mom passed away and was adamant that all her paperwork was done correctly. However, after she passed, we found out that she had listed no beneficiaries on her IRA. And she has 2 kids, a son and a daughter. She wanted all of her retirement benefits to go to her daughter. And for whatever reason, I don't know what the case was in this story. It could be a falling out, could be maybe the daughter had medical needs to cover, maybe the son was well off, didn't need any extra funds. We don't know. Since there were no beneficiaries listed, the account was split among the 2 children. And there was really nothing that either of the kids could do. I mean, I suppose the son could give the money to the daughter, but that could be a weird thing, especially if there was an odd relationship between the mother and the son for whatever reason. Anyway, it's really important to check your beneficiaries. It's not just an annoying thing that your advisor is asking you to do. It is something that is really important and can screw up a lot later in life. This is your reminder to check in on your beneficiaries. Maybe you had a new child recently and you haven't added them to your account yet. There's so many reasons that it's important to double check this. If you'd like a review of your beneficiaries, reach out to us at propelfinancialadvisors.com and schedule a consultation.
Yeah, I was just going to say how at Propel, this is one of the things we help our clients take care of and stay on top of is making sure those beneficiaries listed on their accounts and that it's all in order properly.
All right. Well, thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.